Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you're all well. I have a bit of a haul and a bit of a try-on mashup today. So basically a first impressions, and this is going to be all revolving around Charlotte Tilbury products. And I'm a massive fan of Charlotte Tilbury already. You guys probably know that. I talk about a few of the products quite a lot, but there's a lot that I haven't tried as well. And now that Cult Beauty have started stocking Charlotte Tilbury, this is my box that I ordered everything in. I love Cult Beauty, there's always so many good things on there. So now that they have started stocking the brand, it's a lot more accessible because before they only had it in a few places and now you can just order it online, which is great. So I bought quite a few things. So I thought I just want to get stuck in and try these straight away. So I'm just going to basically show you what I got and then put it on my face and we'll go from there. So I've already done my base and my concealer and my brows, obviously. And I actually used the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation, which is one of my favourite full coverage foundations. The first thing that I want to show you, where is it? So the first thing I picked up was the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I've been wanting to try this powder for ages. I'm kind of on a bit of a powder kick. I just want to find a really good, nice powder. Something that is very finely milled, but is still going to kind of look very natural on the skin and also set my makeup down without looking too cakey. So hopefully this one is going to be all of those things. The packaging of all of Charlotte Tilbury's products is just beautiful. This is this stunning kind of like rose gold. The only thing I wish is that they weren't plastic. Obviously it makes them a lot lighter, a lot easier to travel with, but I just feel like this should be some kind of metal or at least a little bit heavier. I just want it to feel a little bit more luxury. That's literally my only complaint that I have with the packaging. So this is the powder. I went for the shade Fair. Hopefully this is going to be a good shade for me. Pretty sure this is the lightest one, which is what I tend to go for. So I have this one here and it is so, it is so soft. I feel like it has quite a lot of pigment to it as well, which I'm not super used to when it comes to powders. I tend to go for translucent most of the time. So I'm going to pop a little bit of this on the places that I need it. So that is mainly to set my concealer under my eyes and also on my T-zone. So I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, I think this is the contour brush, powder and sculpt brush. And it is really perfect for powdering because it fits so nicely underneath the eyes. You can kind of see that it is really pigmented because it kind of shows up on the brush there. So I'm just going to place this under here and hopefully this will be really nice at setting but without looking cakey. I think it's really hard to find a good powder to set your concealer with, especially under your eyes. It's actually, I'd say, not even noticeable that I'm wearing powder under my eyes. It definitely doesn't look cakey at all and I feel like it's set everything there. It feels nice and smooth and matte. I am really impressed with that. I really like it. It's definitely taken the shine down in the areas that I needed it to, but it's still left a nice bit of radiance and I can't feel it on my skin. It doesn't feel cakey. So far so good. I'm really impressed by that. Obviously the real test will be how well it lasts. I feel like powders that feel like this and are slightly more pigmented sometimes don't last quite as long as I would like them to. They can go a little bit shiny on me throughout the day, so hopefully this one won't, but first impressions, I do really like that. The next two things are two of the Cheek to Chic blushes. I really struggled at picking the shades for these. They are all really lovely and really different shades, so I wasn't sure what to go for, and I ended up getting two. So the two that I got were First Love, which is a little bit more of a neutral tone, so it's a bit browny, kind of a bit peachy in the centre here. And then I also got Love Glow, which is a lot brighter, a lot pinker. So the thing about these Charlotte Tilbury blushes that makes them different is obviously that they have two shades in them. So you're supposed to swirl your brush around into the bigger shade, the outside shade for your whole cheek, and then just take a little pop of colour from the middle shade and pop that on the apples of your cheeks, which I think is a really cool idea. Just looking at them, they do look like they have a lot of shimmer, especially this one. Kind of reminds me a little bit of NARS Orgasm. It's very kind of goldy shimmer sitting within that pink, whereas this one is a bit more matte. There's still definitely some shimmer in it, especially on the outside colour, but it looks a little bit more subtle than this one here. I kind of want to put both of these on, but I'm gonna go for this one and see how I get on with that first. So I'm actually going to do what it says. So swirl your brush around the outside and then pop that on my cheek. It's a really nice colour actually. It's very kind of the sort of shade that I go for in autumn. A little bit more peachy, a bit more brown toned. And these are blending on really nicely. Very smooth. And they're actually really pigmented. I probably put a little bit too much of this on. So I'm going to dip my brush into the middle shade now and then just pop that on the apples of my cheeks. So this one, especially in this palette, is definitely a little bit brighter. It's a bit pinkier, or I'd say it's a bit more peach actually. The colours go together really well. I mean, you can't tell that I'm wearing two separate colours of blush. And I really like the idea of the pop of colour on the cheek. I kind of want to put a little bit of this on. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this middle pinky shade onto the apples of my cheeks as well, just because I want to see what it's like. This one isn't quite as pigmented as I thought it would be, which is nice because sometimes when you get a really pinky blush, it's so easy to go over the top so quickly. So I think it's nice that this one is maybe a bit more buildable. So first impressions on the blushes. Obviously the one that I'm wearing, I really, really like. I think this is such a nice colour. I don't have a lot of blushes of this colour in my collection, so I'm glad I have this now. But yeah, I really like that. I think it's a really nice, kind of cool idea for a blusher. I really like the two shades kind of thing. So next I have the product that I am the most excited about. And this is probably the one thing that I've always wanted from Charlotte Tilbury, but I've never bought for some strange reason. This is one of the eyeshadow palettes, and I have one of these already. I think I have two of these actually, but for some reason not this one. So I finally got it because I just needed it in my collection. And this is the Dolce Vita palette. I mean, this is just bronzy, goldy, coppery autumn goodness. I think this is just the perfect palette for this time of year as well. And there's so many cool things in this. So there's this really lovely shimmery champagne-y shade. There's this beautiful rusty brown, slightly coppery colour. This really nice dark, deep, intense brown. And then this shade, which is just absolutely the standout of this whole palette, which is this packed, glittery looking colour. It looks like they've just put glitter in this pan and nothing else. So I'm going to start by swatching these, I think. So the way these are set out is that one is for priming, one is for enhancing, one is for smoke, and then there's a pot of shimmer, which is this glittery one here. So this is the prime shade. That is really shimmery in itself. I would actually use that as a highlighter. I think that is beautiful. And then we have the burnt rusty shade here. Look at that, that is so pigmented. And then the smoky brown shade, which is this one. I really like this brown actually because it has a little bit of shimmer in it. Sometimes these browns are just mainly kind of matte, and I think it's nice that all these shades do have some kind of shimmer in them. And then I'm running out of fingers. Let's swatch this intense, sparkly, glittery one. Oh wow, that looks even more coppery now that it's swatched than it does in the pan. I think that is stunning. So those are the four shades. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I just want to put them all on my eyes. So I'm going to start off with the lightest shade, basically all over my lid. These kind of light shades that come a lot of times in these sort of quad palettes don't tend to be very pigmented most of the time, but actually this one is so pretty. It has a really subtle but beautiful amount of shimmer in it. It's almost a slightly pinky undertone shimmer, so kind of cool tone, which is a bit of a contrast to the rest of this palette, which is very, very warm tone. I'm also going to put that in the corners of my eyes too, so just into the tear duct for a little bit of highlight. And actually, you know what, as I'm not wearing any highlighter, let's put a little bit of this on a highlighting brush and just see if it works as a highlighter. Wow, that is really, really nice. Okay, so I love this as a highlighter as well. I'm going to use the kind of rusty brown tone next, and I think I'm going to put this into the crease of my eye, kind of on the outer corner, and then into the crease as well. I think we're going kind of seriously all out smoky with this now. You kind of can't not do that with this sort of palette. It's just screams smoky eye. And these are very smooth as well. They are really blending in beautifully, especially for a colour that has this sort of rusty orange undertone to it. They can be very, very difficult to blend a lot of the time. So with the darkest shade, the dark brown, I'm just going to concentrate that on the outer corners of my eye just to kind of darken it up there and keep it a little bit more smoky. And actually, because I'm not going to be wearing eyeliner with this look, I think I'm also going to blend it into my lash line too, just to kind of give that a bit more definition. And I really love doing this with dark brown shades. I think it's a nice alternative if you like to have definition around your eyes, but you don't want to reach for a liquid eyeliner. Actually, what I'm noticing as well as I'm putting these on is that they haven't dropped down at all, not even this dark shade. It just hasn't gone anywhere underneath my eye, which I'm actually really impressed by, because most of the time 90% of eyeshadows, especially when they're this dark, will drop down. The last thing I'm going to do obviously is take this insane glittery shade, and I'm almost not sure where to put this, but I think I'm just going to pack it onto my lid. Okay, that is just pure glitter. I don't think I've ever seen glitter like that packed into an eyeshadow palette. It's just like it is pure pressed glitter. Okay, I love this palette so much. I think it's one of the most well thought out, beautifully formulated, intensely blendable, really pigmented eyeshadow palettes I have ever tried, and I have a couple of these already. This one completely stands out for me. It's just so much nicer than any of the others in terms of the shadows, the colours, even just the pigments and the formulas. I think this is the winner. Definitely more of a kind of evening look, but I think you could really pare this back and keep it quite natural and simple for every day. So that gets my total 2 thumbs up. I love that. I also picked up the mascara. This is the Legendary Lashes mascara, and I have the original Charlotte Tilbury mascara, but this is her newest one, so I've been wanting to try this for a while. The brush is kind of similar actually. It has a bristle brush, so a natural bristle hair. It looks like there is a lot of product on here, so I'm going to try and not get this all over my face. I've heard good things about this mascara. It's supposed to be very thickening and very volumizing. The original Charlotte Tilbury mascara, which I cannot for the life of me remember the name of, is definitely my go-to when I want quite defined and just not clumpy but very fluttery lashes. So it'll be interesting to see how different this one is. This is the point where I try and do my mascara and talk at the same time and just fail completely. So I'm noticing there's a lot of product going onto my lashes, even with the first coat, but it's not clumping them together, which is nice, which I was worried about because this brush looks like it has the potential to be very clumpy. But the formula is a little bit thinner, which I guess kind of stops those clumps from forming. So that is one coat on one eye. You can see the difference between the two. I think it's done a really good job actually. I have quite long curly lashes anyway, so it's hard to see if a mascara really has made a difference. I actually quite like the wand as well. It's grabbing all my lashes really easily. It's not too hard to navigate around my eye, which sometimes with these kind of bristle brushes can be a bit tricky. So that's about 2 or 3 coats of that, which is my standard when it comes to mascaras. I tend to put quite a lot of mascara on, and I have to say I really like it. I like it a lot on my bottom lashes as well. Whether or not it's going to smudge will again be something I have to test out and kind of wait a while to see. Fingers crossed though, with this powder underneath my eyes it's not going to do that, but I really like it. It's definitely a nice thickening mascara, not super lengthening. It hasn't really added a lot of length to my lashes, but it's given them a nice kind of full but thickened look, which is kind of tricky to do because sometimes with volumizing mascaras it can just get very clumpy very quickly. So I have to say I like this. I would reach for it again if I wanted nice kind of bold dramatic lashes. The last thing I got was a lipstick. Of course I had to buy a lipstick, and this is from the Matte Revolution collection, which is one of my favourite formulas of lipstick. I think Charlotte Tilbury has just aced it with these. They are really good. I like how this comes in matte packaging as well, opposed to the kind of shiny packaging of everything else. So this colour I've had on my mind for a while. This is actually what started this whole haul off. So this is Sexy Sienna, and what drew me to this is that it is so different from any of the shades that she has in her collection, and online especially it looked very different from anything else that I had as well, which is great. I have a lot of lipstick. I'm always looking for something that I don't already own. It's kind of like a pinky coral but with a bit more kind of rusty toned orange in it. I just really like the look of it because it was a bit more orangey than the rest of the pinky neutral shades, and also I really like these Matte Revolution lipsticks. They're just really beautifully matte but very comfortable at the same time. Definitely just the nicest matte lipstick to put on. They are so comfortable, they glide on really easily, and they just feel so nice to wear as well. So this is Sexy Sienna. I really like this colour. It's a little bit bolder than I thought it would be, a bit more bright and intense, but I really quite like that. I love the shade of it. It's a really lovely, beautiful, true coral kind of colour with a nice amount of peach in it rather than really, really pink. So I have to say I really, really like this shade. I can see myself wearing this a lot. Also, the packaging of the lipsticks is probably the nicest thing within the whole Charlotte Tilbury range. These actually come in proper kind of metal casing, which I really wish the rest of the products did because it just makes it feel so luxe and beautiful and a little bit heavy as well, which I like. So those are all the bits that I picked up from Cult Beauty, all the Charlotte Tilbury bits, and I have to say I love every single one of them. This always seems to happen with my first impressions videos, but I really genuinely like all of these products, especially the eyeshadow palette. I'm obsessed with this. I think it is the thing to buy. If you want one thing from Charlotte Tilbury, definitely go for this because I just think it is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I really like doing first impressions because you guys literally get to see my first impressions. Let me know as well if you like this kind of one brand first impressions, and if there's any other brands you want to see me try, if I maybe haven't done so already. So yeah, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new as well. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!